We got some Canes over here. New episode from our fans to you. I want to introduce a new guy on the block. His name is Andre. And please, Andre, introduce yourself to the We Got Some Canes Over Here crowd.
What's up, gentlemen? Thank you very much for having me. For those watching, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm from Miami. I came to Miami when I was 3 years old, and I just recently moved here to Vienna, and made some new friends. Canes are international; we're worldwide. It's a pleasure to really connect with the Canes family across the pond. Here in the Oostenrijk, and it's wonderful. I've never felt further away from my Canes before. As a longtime season ticket holder, and grew up going to the OB. But connecting with these guys, and the Canes family overseas really helps the FOMO for sure. So I'm very grateful. So thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And tell us a little bit. That means that you already, like you said, you went to the Orange Bowl and saw great games like the Notre Dame game. I think you told me already, and
I've been blessed.
Yeah,
I'm blessed for sure. I've growing up in Miami, it was when I was really young, right? And late 80s, early 90s, I'm almost 40 now. So I've been around the block a little bit. I'm getting a little seasoned in the beer, a little salt and pepper. But that shows our character.
Thanks.
So I shaved today. I can't.
Alles gut.
You should try.
Yeah, 30 minutes ago.
20-year-old. You're a 20-year-old baby face, huh?
Yeah. Sometimes I'm hearing that. Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, the season has already started. Canes season is just around the corner. First thing, I want to, get your opinion on the season. What is your expectation for the season, Andre? Starting with you.
I'd like to talk less about expectation and more about what I think, what I think we need to see, right? As fans, right? As committed of people who bleed green and orange, we need to see progress, right? We need to do the small things right. We need to stop shooting ourselves in the foot. I think no matter what our record is at the end of this, if we do those things right, then that's real progress. We can go, we can win 9 games, but if those games were won in a manner that is not consistent to a champion, not consistent to our standard, if we don't win the games we need to win convincingly, right? Does it really matter? Because then they're just going to follow that season with another 7-5 season, or whatever it is. That's really what I want. That's what I want Mario to do. That's what I want the dedication of our players to commit to is not perfection, but errorless football from us. There's always going to be a perfect pass that our DBs can't get to. There's always going to be a quarterback who does some Houdini and pulls out.
So we lost you, Andre. I hope you will.
The small things right.
Okay, so now you're there again. Okay.
Oh, sorry about that.
No. Okay. Ralf.
Well, Andre, have you read my script?
I think we all think the same thing, right?
Actually, along the same lines, actually. And in terms of expectations, we are used to having expectations with every new coach. And from Richt and Golden and all the other guys and Shannon, and more or less, rather sooner than later, we became disappointed because the standards were not as high as we expected them to be, and they were not able to hold them. And therefore, I'm not also here about the 8 or 9 wins. I would like to have 8, just to have a number here. But it's about the progress, and that we see that this program is really turned around by Mario and staff and team. So the progress, and I'm kind of happy that at least recruiting-wise, I'm not talking about the games next on Friday and the other one, recruiting-wise, it seems to be the step into the right direction. We never had bad recruiting in terms of the rivals and 247 tables, but it seems that the talent was not there, and currently it seems that we're winning 5-star recruits just recently, and just the basis should be there, and the basis should be everything else on the campus, but also on the field. And the field is, as you said, errorless football, where we see, okay, the standard is setting higher and higher and higher, and in the end, results will come and will not come this year in terms of what we would like to achieve, but it's a process, and I would like to see the progress within the process. Of course, trust Mario and team and hope we are getting there.
Well said.
Okay. Yeah, basically,
What about you?
like you guys said already, I have one extra thing that I want to state. It's I want to stop shouting at my TV all the time. That's something I really would love to, because I already told Andre that I think my gallbladder was the reason I lost my gallbladder is, I think, the last 20 years of Canes football watching. It at least has a decent amount to do with it, and yeah, the same. I want to see not a stupid team. I don't want to see 2 personal fouls penalty on the first drive against FSU. I don't want to see players not seeing where the ball is, and the ball carrier of the opponent already 15 yards, made 15 yards and stuff like that. I want to see that those players made their homework. They did their homework in the off season, watching film, getting stronger, having a discipline that we haven't seen in a long time. And like Mario said a day ago, the DNA has changed. So like another friend of mine who was a big Canes fan said to me, he said, I'm from the show me state. He said, yeah, show me. And we've been watching, we have to endure this drought for a long time now, and we want to see a difference, and we will see another face of Canes football. And I really do hope that we will see the first step in this direction.
Yeah, one more thing I want to add is I want to see player development, right? So that's something we've been lacking for a long time, right? We would get some blue chip guys every once in a while. We get some 5 stars. We'd load up on 3 and 4 stars, and that's enough to compete. That is enough to compete. You give me a 4-star from South Florida, I'll compete him with a 5-star from California or Texas any day. The real difference, how we develop that 3 or that 4-star. We've gone through so much turnover, so much turmoil, both in the head coaching, and this has continued in the offensive coordinator position now, right? I mean, TVD has seen, 3 different offensive coordinators. So, yeah. So it's like, how are we developing those guys, right? I mean, we see it in college football all the time. We see it in the NFL all the time. Guys that are drafted super low or weren't the best recruits that came out. You know what I mean? And these guys, that something inside that film room, in that weight room, or that spark from that coach, or the competitive nature from within the locker room, from the guy next to him, transforms where stars don't matter. And all of a sudden, this guy who is a nobody becomes a difference maker. And for too long, I haven't really seen that much. I've seen it a bit on the defensive line. We've had a few studs come in, guys who are around the 3-star, 4-star area, playing like 5 stars, playing like Alabama starters, if we're going to be honest. I'd like to see that on the O-line. I'd like to see some of our stud, be great to have a shutdown corner, an intimidating safety. I want to see what the development happens within our team. And that's, I think, a big thing of why we brought Mario on, not just the recruiting, not just the NIL, not just the ties and connections to money. But we believe, and I still choose to believe, that he and his staff can be motivational and transformative people for these young kids and push them to the next level, to the Canes level, really.
Excellent points.
Well said.
So, gentlemen,
we're back.
We're back, and we will discuss the upcoming schedule. Let's see.
Undefeated. Let's go, Canes.
15-0.
Wow.
So let's see. So first game, a little bit we'll talk about later on, but just now as discussing the schedule for the season. Andrew, your take. Win or
yeah, I think the first thing to really talk about for that first game of the season, for those of us now, I'm across the pond here, I'm in Central Europe. There is a literal hurricane bearing down and heading towards Florida. It's coming from the Gulf. Right now it's a Category 1. It will intensify as it moves into the Gulf. The hot water usually makes a bigger storm and a stronger storm. For those of us who remember Katrina and other storms like that have hit Louisiana, they get really big and really strong. There is a real chance and a real possibility that this game may be delayed extensively or canceled all outright. Assuming for all of us, right, that the only hurricane that touches down at Hard Rock Stadium is in orange and green, right? We demolish Miami of Ohio, and we let them and everybody else know that there's only one Miami. Change your name, forget your M, move on, and we take that W seriously and convincingly. That's what I want. I want to see our third string in the second half still putting up points on the board, still taking sacks and interceptions, still creating sack fumbles. And that's a hardcore win for us. Assuming, of course, that we're the only hurricane in town come that Saturday night. That's my prediction.
Of course, thank you. Of course, we wish only the best for the citizen living in Florida and a safe hurricane season. Ralf.
Yeah, thanks for the convincingly statement, especially in light of the fact, maybe I've heard that the quarterback of Miami, Ohio, that the only real Miami is the one in Ohio. This quarterback, by the way, is brother of Blaine Gabbert, who's playing second string somewhere across the NFL, I guess in San Francisco, whatever. The line is 16.5. I would like to have 17 at least, and a convincing win.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to see what Andrew stated? Yes, of course. And I really do hope and think that we will come out with an attitude that's I really looking forward to. But then again, I want to see it. I don't want to see stupid penalties. I think that it will. We will see a lot if the homework in the offseason was done or not. We will see, is this a different team with a different attitude, a different face? And we will see it on game day. So, I think we will win by something like 17 to 20 points. That's the margin I think we will win by.
I'm taking 21 plus. I'm taking the over.
Okay. I don't know where the line is, but that's what I'm thinking about. So 70 to 20.
Yeah, 16.5 as I looked yesterday.
16.5. Okay,
yeah.
Thanks. Okay, then we come to the next game, Texas A&M.
Well, if you want to go first on this one.
Me?
Yeah, you.
I think we will lose this game. I don't want to be Debbie Downer, but I think we will be competitive. We will play a good game, but in the end, they will edge out the win. That's what I'm thinking.
You think? Why do you think that? Well, what are some of the reasons and the factors?
Because I think they have a great roster, and they will be a little bit better. I think that their trenches will be better than ours. That's the thing I do believe.
That's where the game is won. It's a game of trenches, a game of inches.
Well, honestly, it's for me, it's even. There was a close contest last year in Texas, and well, it's about the trenches. I'm really not sure. They're not the best team of the SEC. They are probably more loaded than we are. They are more experienced than we are. But we are at home. Hopefully have some sort of home field advantage. And it's a close one. Win or lose by one. I'm picking a win here.
You will pick the win.
Yeah, I like to hear it. I'm on board with you. I think we win this game. I think, this is going to be our first real measuring test of the season, right? Or do we compare with the top 50 schools in the country from a recruiting standpoint, a trenches standpoint? Can we move the needle? Can we move the chains? This is the game that by the end of this game, right, Saturday night, Eastern Standard Time, we'll know what kind of season we're going to have. I truly believe that. And I believe, with that being said, that we're going to come out on top. There's a couple different factors here that why I'm leaning that way. One, I'm a super homer, right? I'm always going to root for my Canes. Two, this is a prime time game on Saturday night on ABC. And for those of you who are watching, or with us overseas, it's basically free to air TV. It's the TV where you can put the bunny ears up and everybody can watch. This is a nationally televised game. It's the biggest stage you can be on. Everybody knows this. The players know this, right? It's not just a game that is only going to be shown in your region or in your area. This will be shown throughout the country. And all of those players who are born and bred in the South, in South Florida, their family and supporters are going to be there. All those other recruits and transfers that we had that are coming from other places and parts of the country, it's the first time they're going to play for their family, for their friends, for that ex-girlfriend who left them, for that kid who they used to play against when they were in high school to see how he's shining. There's a lot of different factors. On top of the fact that we're going to have Hard Rock Stadium Saturday night. We're going to come in 1-0, when the lights are out and the lights are shining. Canes take a W, and we start really formulating what is going to be our character, our poise, and our swag for this 2023-2024 season. Canes get a dub. Tough game. We pull it out strong.
Well said, I guess.
Hope so. It's not that I'm not rooting for the Canes, but yeah, okay. Let's see, guys. So you in your mind were still winning and have a winning record.
Undefeated, baby.
Undefeated, yeah. Okay, so
having the gallbladder.
It's gone already, so I can live free now. So let's see. Next game is Bethune-Cookman. I think that's a dub. Are we the same opinion? Can we?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I will say one thing though about Bethune-Cookman. For those of you, I hope for those of us on the podcast and everybody watching, if you could probably only go to one game, one home game this season, if it's not an FSU game, you should go to a Bethune-Cookman game. And I say that because they're an all-black college, National Black College. They have one of the best bands you've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
It's phenomenal. Every halftime, normally during halftime, you grab a beer, you run to the bathroom, you have a smoke, you do whatever. Not for Bethune-Cookman. You sit there, you watch, huge band. I mean, they have more, what is it? It's a 53-man roster in college football. They've got like 60 people in the band. It's ridiculous. So shout out to Bethune-Cookman. I love you guys. When we don't play you, I root for you. But that's a Canes dub. We're undefeated at 3-0 for sure.
I guess it's the same as for Florida A&M, isn't it? I've been to one Florida A&M game. I guess it's kind of similar. I wasn't aware of the same, but Florida A&M is kind of similar. Black school.
And have a great band as well.
Amazing band.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. It's really, really put on a great show. Good for them.
So we are at Saturday, September the 23rd, at Temple this time.
First away game. First time we leave home.
What can we say? I mean, they didn't have a great record. It should be a win. I don't have to add anything else.
I don't know that much about Temple. It's somebody wrote or in a podcast why we choose Temple, however. I don't know, but it should be a win.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, we should be rolling into Georgia Tech 4-0, looking strong, feeling confident. And ready to get after it.
Undefeated.
Ready to really start. We are really undefeated. This is where our season's going to start. I think after this Temple game is when the rubber meets the road and we see, hey, are we competing or are we, or are we not?
Yeah. Back at Harbrook Stadium, Saturday, October 7th. So we got a bye week between these two games.
Unfortunately, early bye weeks are never great. You want a late
bad habit, I have to say, at Miami. Yeah, we have those bye weeks early, often in the season. Don't know why, but it is how it is. So I think it's will be a win against Georgia Tech. I think they will be improved, but we should be too much firepower for them. I hope so. Yeah, and I think so.
Yeah, I would say the same. One of the rare teams we beat last year. And since we're making progress, we should beat them again.
Okay.
Yep. I agree with both of you guys. I think this is what they call, a possible letdown game, right? This is a game where we've just won a couple. We've won 3 at home. We won on the road. We spanked them in their own house. Then we come back home. We're comfortable. We're 4-0. We're sitting at the top of the ACC, along with the Clemsons and the Florida States and the North Carolinas. We're feeling good. We're feeling confident. And we know when we come home, we got the Rock behind us, Sebastian and company, and everybody's yelling in the 305. This is a game where this is a game that's really going to test what we want to believe in Mario. This is the game where are you going to bring composure, consistency, a focused mindset? Because this is a letdown game, 110%. Yeah. You come in 4-0, you just went on the road, you crushed 3 at home, so you think I'm back at home. This is an auto win. It's not an auto win. Yeah. We have the caliber to beat this team. If we lose this game, unfortunately, as a Miami fan who's been consistently disappointed for the past 20 years at not being able to beat teams that we absolutely should crush and letting teams hang and barely beating them that shouldn't even be in our stadium. This is a letdown game and a huge question mark. I'm giving it a win, but man, am I worried because of the history that we've shown. What I want to believe is Mario's got these kids tuned in. He's got his staff focused and crushed. And this is another walk in the park for us where we crush them by 17 plus. But history has shown me, this is the kind of game, because we're already looking at Carolina, right? Carolina sitting at the top along with us and along with Florida State. We're looking at Carolina. We're looking at that road trip instead of taking care of what's in front of you. So I worry about this game. This is my first,
Sebastian
Spidey
approves
sense.
this message 100%. Because it is what it is. It's a game you can't lose. That's the problem. You can't lose against Georgia Tech at home. It's a killer for this season would be, you know. So yeah,
Yep.
I'm with you.
So that's a worry. That's going to tell us the mental strength, the mental fortitude of this team. I think is going to be, that's our first real unexpected roadblock, so to speak. If we can push through that, man, you know, there's no telling what's going to happen in these next 3 or 4 games, which I'm excited to talk about too.
True. Okay, so yeah, we are at Chapel Hill. Big game. I think it will be a national game. North Carolina, Chapel Hill with Drake, the quarterback, great quarterback they have. I had a hard time with this game, I have to say, but in the end, I think we will find a way to win. Yeah, I think that's a dub. That's a dub for me. Yeah.
Ooh, I like it. I like it.
But we will not stay undefeated any longer. I'm afraid.
In my record, not. Yeah, in yours,
yeah.
We'll see.
And I guess we will lose this one.
Okay.
At Chapel Hill, having to face one of the best, I guess, 2 quarterbacks in the nation currently. A good team, and although I lost some guys to the NFL, I guess this is the one where we're not deep, not experienced enough to overcome the road and then a good North Carolina team, and I guess we will lose.
Andre.
Yeah, I'm getting flashbacks here. I'm getting flashbacks of that North Carolina game, you know, a few years back where we had, what was it, 8 or 9 different laterals, right? I mean, it's the greatest way to end a game where we just kept tossing it back, and in the last second
against Duke. Against Duke, you mean?
Oh, that was against Duke. I'm sorry, I got confused with the blue. But yeah,
North Carolina, I'm sorry to interrupt, but they basically had our number. You know, it was often it was close, but they won a lot of close games the last couple of years, and therefore I want to beat them so badly. Yeah.
North Carolina, I agree with you 110%. North Carolina has had our number. Their difference makers have always been their quarterback, right? Their quarterback has always been the difference maker. Now, if you touched upon it just now, the 2 best quarterbacks in the nation going head to head. It's going to come down to what is our secondary play, and are we going to get pressure on the quarterback more than they pressure us, right? TVD is not a mobile guy, you know, and that's okay. We don't need a mobile guy. We need a guy who releases on time, and we need receivers to catch the ball when it hits him in the chest. We can do both of those things and put some pressure on the quarterback. We'll be okay. This is one of those games where this game and the next game, it's going to come down to, I think, run defense. I think if we can make them one-dimensional, if we can stop the run and make them one-dimensional, we can pin our ears back as the defensive ends on the line, right? Really spread out, and then just attack in, make sure that our safeties and our linebackers can plug those holes, stop the run, or limit the run, right, to 2.5 yards, per vital carry. We can win this game. I have this down as a loss. I do. They've had our number. Those Canes are going to have to prove to me that they can beat North Carolina before I give them North Carolina.
Okay.
But it's
I'm
possible.
I'm the lone guy in the winning column here, so I guess. Okay.
Yes, you are.
Hey, I would like to be you. I would like to be you.
Winning season is over. Unbeaten season, better said. Okay, good. So next game, Clemson at Hard Rock Stadium, Saturday, October 21st. I think
I'm going to start on this.
Okay,
I'm going to start on.
Please, Andrew, start. Okay. Yep.
If this is a one possession, we played them. But the last time we played them, it was a one possession game within 4 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, right? The game went out of control thereafter, but it was a one possession game within 4 minutes. If we can do that again, that to me is a moral victory. I can take the L on that game all day, right? On paper, they've already won, so it doesn't matter. Can we keep it competitive? Can we not bite ourselves in the foot? And can we play them straight up, mano a mano, hand to hand, fist to fist, eye to eye? That's what I want. If we can do that, I will take that moral victory every single day. And it's as a Kane, right, who we're all here, we're all veteran, we're all seasoned guys, right? Those moral victories didn't exist 20 years ago. It was either you won by, you won the national championship or you won by 30, right? It was one of those two. I do want to be competitive with Clemson. I want to let the world know that we've arrived. We're not going to be pushovers. And that's my prediction. I predict a loss, but man, I just want to be there. I want to be there in those last 4 to 5 minutes, those last 2 minutes. I want to be in it in the last 2 minutes.
Yeah, but if we in there in the last 2 minutes, we could win as well. So then I want to take the win. No, but I'm just joking. I know what you're saying, and I think the last year was the game was open quite long. And if we can continue that without the bad mistakes, because Chikori was the quarterback and he had I think a crushing interception, then it went downhill, if I remember it correctly. But it went downhill late. So I'm with you when we can continue the progress in this game, fight mano a mano, yeah, wie du gesagt hast, how you said, yeah. Then I think we have a chance, but I think it will be a loss in the end. So I'm with you, Ralf.
I agree with you both. Clemson of this year is probably not the Clemson we had 2 or 3 or 4 years ago. They had a kind of a downturn last year, and then they probably are not that good anymore, but they're still good enough to beat us. And as you said, do not want to double up here. It's about making progress and playing them hard.
Okay.
Agreed.
So we have everybody's in the last column against Clemson. Then comes a homecoming game at Hard Rock Stadium, October 28th, against Virginia. And I think we will win convincingly. I do hope. However, they are a good fighting team, but I think they have a new head coach now, so I think that will be too much for them, and we will win big. That's what I'm thinking of this game.
Especially after they had the mobile victory against Clemson, and then they're coming strong and then beating them convincingly.
Okay.
Yes, but
I agree. This is a big bounce back game. This is another game where it tests our mental fortitude, right? The first one was Georgia Tech, beat the teams you're supposed to beat. This one is, how are you going to stay down? Once you get knocked down, you're going to get back up, you're going to dust yourself off, and you're going to show that you're the dog in the fight. If we are at the mental capacity that we want to be at, this game we win convincingly. And by the halftime, halfway through the third quarter, this game is put away.
Okay. Good. So no doubt about this game. Then comes North Carolina State in Raleigh in their stadium, November 4th. I have this as a loss. Yeah, I have this as a loss because it's a week before Florida State. I don't think that they will overlook this team, but I just think it will be a little bit of a down play, or how do you say it? I think they will not perform too well in this game, and I think that North Carolina State, you have to give them credit, they're a good team. I think they will win a close one against Miami.
Manuel?
Everybody short. What happened?
Then let's start. The last 3 ones are not it, but the NC State, Florida State, and Louisville are top ones. And NC State is tough to predict. There are supposedly 2 teams in the ACC running for the championship. According to the media, it's Clemson and Florida State. And there are 2 runner-ups, which are North Carolina and NC State. And this team is a good one. And I'm really not sure. For me, that's, again, kind of a plus one, minus one thing. I guess we will lose because we're not ready yet. But it's the one we can flip also. So I guess it's a loss, but not a convincing loss, I have to tell you.
Yeah, I'm throwing this up in the win column. It's a 50-50 game. I agree with you. It's a +1, -1. I say, I don't want to curse, but I say F it. You know what I mean? Let's run it. Let's do it. I think we can. Football is a game of momentum. If you're strong enough, you can build momentum. If you're weak enough, momentum builds you. If we can bounce back from that Clemson loss and come strong in Virginia, and then build on that and take that into North Carolina State, that's huge. This is the game. If everything goes according to my predictions, which of course is different from everybody else's, but according to my predictions, this is the game of the season. It's literally the game of the season. This is going to define if we're going to get into that realm of contention for the ACC, or we're just going to stay on the outside looking in, just on the border, looking over the wall at those 4 teams you just said: Clemson, Florida State, North Carolina, and Carolina State. If we can beat them, all of a sudden, the rest of the season, we're playing for an ACC berth. That's who we are now. This is the most important game of the season if everything falls the way that I expect it to. And if it's 50-50, why not? Why not buy into Mario, right? Because if he doesn't pull out a quality bowl berth this year, we're talking about him being gone next year or the year after. So let's give it to him. I'm going to give it to him. I'm going to say it's an extremely, extremely tight game. We get a few bounces our way. Critical interception in the 4th quarter to seal the game, and we kneel on the ball to run out that clock. I got us winning this game.
Okay.
I hear you.
Okay. Andrew's season is a little bit better as mine, I would say, right now. So let's see if that continues. Florida State, November 11th. Who wants to start?
Win, period. Move on.
Okay.
All right.
Win, move on. Ralf?
Cut the chop. That's it. Forget those guys.
I would love to have a win, especially after last year. The 3-45, sorry for mentioning that, was the most painful loss last year, even more painful than the Middle Tennessee State one, because it was so downside and so painful to watch. And I guess we were not there to be kind of serious. It's a loss, but I would like to be more competitive. And of course, of all the games on the roster, on the schedule, I would like to have this one. But next year, not this year.
Yeah, basically the same here. I just want to have a good game. I know it's worth nothing because you have to win. It's only winning that counts, but no more 45-3 or something like that. That cannot be. Even there must be progress, and it would feel bad in every way if we lose this game. But right now, if I have to bet, and so it will be a loss for me.
But then also, I guess one additional comment: you have to admit that they are back on track. They had a good season last year.
I don't.
Seemingly good recruiting, very good recruiting, one of the best.
I know, but I just can't bring it out of my mouth.
Yes, but sometimes
I can't. No, you're right. But let's move on. There are other games.
No. Let's spend the time on these. Okay, let's because they. One thing I'd like to remind of your viewers out there is that this is a rivalry game. What you did last year doesn't matter, and your stars really don't matter. It's a rivalry game. What you take into the rivalry is only one thing. It's swag and it's confidence. We did not have that last year, right? Our season fell apart because we fell apart mentally. If you look at the years past, they've had much superior, much better recruiting than we have, right? And they've had this and they've had that. And we've turned around and we've been down 3 touchdowns at halftime, come back and beat them in Hard Rock. You know what I mean? This is one of those games that it's just, your record doesn't matter. Your recruiting doesn't matter. It's your mental fortitude and your strength. Do you want it or do you not? You know, we watch and we read all of these documentaries and interviews with former players, you know, and when they sit down, when Canes sit down with Canes, you know how they measure themselves? What was your record against Florida State?
Yeah.
That's all that matters to them. You know what I mean? It's either you won the chip or you didn't. And then if you did or if you didn't, what was your record against Florida State? So I want to forget their season that they had, forget their recruiting class. That's not much better than ours if we have player development. I'm factoring into that we're bringing momentum into this game. We did not just lose to NC State. We just won to NC State. We're now sitting there with the top dogs competing for the ACC championship game, you know, and this is not only for rivalry status, it's for the ACC championship fight. And it's about those boys. Every single one of our starters played high school ball, not all, but 80% played high school ball with those kids sitting across from FSU. Because we all grew up in the same neighborhood. FSU's been poaching South Florida for a long time and taking some of our best recruits. No, I'm talking this as a dub, as I do every year. We should beat them. We will beat them. Let's go and do it.
Okay.
Go.
Yes. Yes.
Your words in God's ear. I hope so. So we move on. Louisville is the game on November 18th. It's at Hard Rock Stadium. I take this as a dub, but it will be a hard-fought game, and I think it will be. They could be a little bit of pain in the butt to say, and I think it will be harder than many people think, and but we will have a win in the end. So comeback game, so to say for me, yeah.
Andre?
Yeah, I'll take. This is going to be a loss. This is going to be a game where we beat Florida State. We're all high and mighty, right? We think we rule the world. We think there's only 2 games left. We think we got this in the bag. I want to be proven wrong, but much like Georgia Tech, right? These are 2 games that opponents where I feel we should beat. If we come off an extreme high with Florida State and we win that game, it's very real that this game is one where we get lost in our own sauce and we just believe it too much.
Okay. Ralf?
For me, it's a win. It's the same category, I guess, a bit in terms of team we are facing, like North NC State. But we're at home. We have built character throughout the season. I'm ready to bounce back from a Florida State loss and win against Louisville.
All right, so then round it up. So we have at least we have only 1 game left, but I really do hope after this season we have a bowl game. I'm sure we will have a bowl game. Boston College is the last game. It's in Chestnut Hill, Friday, November 24th. So a little bit could be cold, but for me that shouldn't be any deal for any Canes team in the future. We are playing the cold. It shouldn't be a problem. And I see it that they will fight hard, but we have too much firepower. I think Boston College, they will bring the A game, but I think that we will win. But it's a Friday night game, so 12 p.m. game, not Friday night, but it's a Friday game. Is it Thanksgiving or I don't know, but it has some character this day. It's a holiday, I think, in America. So
Yeah. It's what we call Black Friday. So it's a holiday.
Okay, so I knew anything like that. So it will be a good viewed game, I think, watched game, and it won't be a cakewalk. That's my opinion to this game.
PC was never easy. We will win, and according to the standards we have already set throughout the season, so a win.
Yeah, I think it's, again, a nationally televised game. Everybody around the country is going to be watching this game. This is a game that really is going to let us know, hey, we are in this fight. We're not in this fight. Are we going to get a bowl game that's before Christmas, right? Which is, or before New Year's? Or are we going to get one of the prestigious bowl games after New Year's? And we pull out for the W. We get the W. We finish strong. We finished convincingly. We let our run game do the work in the snow in Boston.
Okay, well, snow angels afterwards. And making snow angels afterwards.
Yes, genau. Oh.
Okay, so does anybody know his record?
Yeah. I think I only have us with 3 losses, if I'm not mistaken. Sorry,
I guess I'm 8-4.
That's correct. You have 3 losses.
I have 4.
8 and 4, and for me it's the same. I have 4 losses.
So I guess really when it comes down to it, right? It's if we are, so I've got us at 3 losses, you've got us at 4 losses. I think we all have probably at least 2 games that can go either way, right? These games can flip and flop, that we say we're capable of winning, but given the history, until they prove it to us, right, what's going to happen? That leaves us at, guys, if, 9-3 with a possibility of 10-2, if everything goes well. To give you my final prediction of the season, we miss out on the ACC championship. I think even if my prediction goes well at 9-3, we get a Clemson, Florida State or something. Clemson and North Carolina is very real. That we're one of those teams that gets a great bowl game, gets national attention, national respect, as we deserve if we finish the way we should. And everyone's talking about us for next season, and everybody's talking about, hey, could they have been in the ACC championship? Okay. What did it really come down to?
Next time I'll bring my wife with me as well.
Yeah, I know. It's their favorite thing to do is annoy us. It's unbelievable. Like, all we want to do is please them and keep them happy. And all my wife wants to do is just twist the screws in my neck like Frankenstein.
Yeah, we're misunderstood all the time. No? That's the problem.
Pity you. Yeah.
Okay, guys, I've only a couple of minutes left. I think what we can say in general, that we all, with our predictions, it would be a big step forward. I think you could say that. I really do hope to see that. And maybe just a couple of thoughts on the first game that's coming up. I know that the Miami team doesn't have a lot of firepower on offense, but their defense is kind of okay. It should be. So I think that the O-line, the trenches must be better. Our trenches must be better than the trenches of them. So I really do hope that we see a running game that's functioning, and that we see the running backs and even Fletcher scoring a couple of touchdowns. And the defense playing a decent game. Then we should win.
Yeah. I mean, I think the most important thing to look out for this season is offensive chemistry. We have a new offensive coordinator. How soon can we click, right? When does it become effortless, right? To run those plays, to know where you got to be, to know your spot is super important. The other thing is run defense. Are we going to be able to stop the run to make teams become one-dimensional so that when we're in those dogfights, we can really put our best foot forward? And then the last thing I'll say is this is going to be a defining season, right? We've said that for years, but that's us talking about Miami Hurricanes, right? This should be a defining season. This is going to be a defining season, period, because of the state of the ACC. Let's remember, it's the first time we have no divisions, right? It's the two best teams in the conference are who go to the championship game, much like that COVID year where we got robbed by Notre Dame. And every conference in college football is blowing up and imploding or exploding. So this is a huge season, not just for the Miami Hurricanes, but for the future of the ACC. It would really help college football and the ACC if the Canes did well. There is nothing better in football than when the Canes are playing like the Hurricanes.
Well said again. About the game on Friday, I'm interested to see whether we really have as many freshmen as advertised being the game. Like Moigoa, like Bain, like
Joseph,
Joseph, like maybe Fletcher, the running back, and see whether they are as good at advertised. It would be also a good thing to show the nation, okay, we are willing to play the freshmen, and that the other freshmen, soon to be freshmen, see that. And we get more recruits coming on campus and getting their letter signed at the U.
Genau, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, and even on the linebacker position, they got so much talent. Malik Bryant, Popo Aguirre. Why not having a Shaq Quarterman? Who was Pickney? And the other guy who was on the NFL, right?
Perryman was another great one.
Yeah, Perryman. So they show us on linebacker that our thoughts or that we think, on linebacker thin. Let's see a quarterback who linebacker who plays, at a level as a starter and rise to the occasion and play really good football and. Yeah, and just my last thoughts is, like Andrew said, it's a really, really important season because it's starting. It's his guys, it's Mario's guys basically, and we have to see progress. It's a season like last year won't cut it. So I really do hope for a good season and for progress. So yeah. So go
Looking forward to it.
Thank you again, guys.
Thank you.
Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Go Canes.
Have a good
Goodbye.
day. Goodbye. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed this segment. We will be back with a recap after the Miami of Ohio game. And we will keep it in English because we are trying and to connect the people, the Hurricanes fans here in Europe. And if you want to give us some feedback, please write on the comments below the YouTube channel. Or if you want to participate in any way, please let us know. And thank you very much for watching, and we will be back.